Welcome in to the Week 6 edition of Game Theory Thursday. I am your host, Ben Hostler. I'm joined by Sam Sherman. We are here to break down the Week 6 NFL DFS slate, and we are brought to you by OwnersBox Fantasy. If you guys have yet to check out OwnersBox Fantasy, you can see it right on the side of the screen. Head to ownersbox.online. Use promo code KARMA for that deposit match, 100% deposit match, up to $500. A free $10 entry to play Lightning lineups, a free $10 entry into their Week 6 DFS tournament, the Sunday Smash, $50,000 prize pool, $10,000 to first place. You can play. It's the fun thing about it, Sam, is there's no defense because we tilt defense on this show every week. You can play
Dude,
super
last
flex.
week, it's a good
Yeah,
example. Like defense.
exactly. You don't have to deal with a 40% owned Cowboys defense dropping over 20 points because you can play super flex on OwnersBox. We have tons of content for it on the site. Ryan's already got his articles up for the week. I have a building blocks article up that comes out on Fridays for OwnersBox specifically. Sam has projections on the website for OwnersBox specifically. And we break down the Lightning lineup stuff in our Discord, dfscover.com/chat. You can get in the Discord for free. And we'll talk about some OwnersBox plays throughout the podcast as well when we break it down. No cash process this week. Had some scheduling conflicts with AC. I don't know what he has been up to. So we'll talk a little bit more about cash game stuff on this podcast here. We'll go through cash and tournament stuff. I've gone out of my way in our Discord, Sam, to say this is the worst cash game week in the history of DraftKings.com. This is horrible. Everyone's going to play the same team. I think like in general with how saturated things are and how so many people have access to pretty good projections, I would say nowadays. So it does end up pretty chalky most weeks in cash games, but this seems like unlike anything I've ever seen. So I think it's a really good tournament week. I'll be dialing back personally. Will not be playing as much cash game volume as I normally do. I said in Discord this will be the lightest volume I play all season this week, I think. And I'm just going to take some shots on some tournament teams. So I'm excited to break that down with you, Sam. I'll kick it over to you, and then you can start us off at quarterback. How are you feeling on the slate? And you can lead us into quarterback. What guys are you looking at this week at the quarterback position?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. I'll dial back my cash only because as you know, or most people in Discord would know, I'm just such a contrarian by nature, and I can't play all the chalk. And if I play cash games this week with these, every single person is going to be 40% owned, and I cannot possibly take if Benjamin goes off for 30, I just can't. That's just ridiculous. So I'll probably dial up my just tournament exposure from my cash games. Honestly, I'll just probably take more risk. I wouldn't recommend this is normally a losing endeavor, but in single entry, I think it is just so easy relatively to pivot. And you kind of know what people are going to do. I mean, off the top, if it were me, I'm not saying this can't smash. I probably will not have a lineup, which I think will be very popular, of some sort of combination of Allen, Diggs, Stevenson, and Kenneth Walker. Your lineup they could combine for 150 or 120% ownership. So I just think the way you play your teams and the way you navigate the chalk can pay dividends. But yeah, this cash week is a tough one. I mean, going to quarterback, okay, so Josh Allen's the obvious cash quarterback. I think I'm not taking a bold stand on that one. If not playing Allen, I do like Brady. I know he's not the mobile quarterback you want. And then I think that Geno is I have him as the second highest on quarterback, which is hilarious in 2022. But Geno is really cheap. Arizona D sucks. And I think if you're not paying up for Allen, you're probably going to someone like Geno. Again, that doesn't sound right. I'm just saying that's probably what people are going to do.
Yeah, so before we fully dive in here, we'll just talk a little bit. The last few weeks, there's been such little value that it's kind of forced people onto, similar builds, similar lineup construction. Most people going balanced every week. And I think that this week, and that's kind of come along with the lack of value. It's come along with just a lack of good games, right? There hasn't, most of the good games have been prime time. Most of the high over-unders have been prime time. And then this week, we kind of have that same situation, a bunch of no games that really stick out except for two of them, which are Arizona, Seattle, and then above all, 54 over under, Buffalo, Kansas City. So everyone that's playing at least cash games or like single entry, they're going to be forced to look at those two games. And that's also where the value of this week, Kenneth Walker, Eno Benjamin, we just got the news James Conner is unlikely to play this week officially. So, Eno Benjamin, 4,600 on DK. Kenneth Walker with no Rashad Penny is in the mid 5K. So everyone will be plugging those guys in. And there's other chalk that we'll talk about throughout, but it's going to force just really similar roster construction. So is Josh Allen the top play? Yes. Are you playing Josh Allen in cash? I would say yes, most likely.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Is Geno fine? I think Geno's fine for tournaments. I think Kyler's fine for tournaments. I'm kind of curious where the ownership ends up on Kyler. Like, QB's going to be spread out outside of Josh Allen, I think. But Kyler is someone I would be interested in if he was like 1% owned. I don't think he's going to be 1% owned this week. But I think that game's fine. But I think for tournaments, like, I'm just going to have to avoid that game a little bit and look maybe to mini stack it and just look elsewhere. So for cash, it's Josh Allen, and I think you're just done after that. For tournaments, who do you like? I'm definitely interested in Lamar. We've seen a few times this season where, chalk kind of concentrates on, a Josh Allen or a Jalen Hurts at the top, and then Lamar goes out and puts 50 up. Like, he can do that, every week. So he can certainly do that this week. I think Lamar's a really interesting play. I think Mahomes in that game will be significantly lower on the Josh Allen. Like, no one that's spending 8K on a QB is not going to play Josh Allen, right? Like, especially because what has Mahomes been doing, really, So I think that overall, Mahomes will be decently low owned. I think we lost Sam, so I'm just going to keep talking, and we'll see if he joins back in here. But other than Mahomes at QB, I'm definitely interested in. I think it's tough. I think Tom Brady sticks out. So last week, okay, Sam, you're back. There we go.
All right, Ben. Computer issues on me.
Yeah,
always.
You're good. So basically, I just said that for tournaments, I definitely like Mahomes because no one that's spending 8K is going to spend, like, no one spending 8K is going to play Mahomes. They're just going to play Josh Allen. And Mahomes kind of doesn't have that rushing ceiling that Allen does, so everyone will lean there. So definitely like Mahomes and GPPs. And then Tom Brady, I think, is the other one other than Lamar. Everyone wanted to play Tom Brady last week, and he did what we expected him to do. He had a good game.
Annoying,
he just didn't throw any touchdowns. He only threw one touchdown.
Yeah.
If he throws 3 touchdowns, everything's a whole different situation. So Brady sticks out, and Mahomes, I think, other than Lamar, for tournaments for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mentioned pre-pod. I mean, Kirk Cousins, was my one guy. I was like, maybe, stack him up with like Jefferson and Irv, who's run a lot more routes lately, but it's just hard to see the upside compared to these other guys. Then the only thing I ask, I don't know if I can do it, but do we have any interest in Daniel Jones?
I literally was about to say that. Daniel Jones does run the football. I think
he does, dude. Finally, people see it. Yeah,
right?
I think he averages like 7 to 8 rush attempts a game.
Yeah. And are we scared of Baltimore's defense?
We are not.
I mean, not really. So, yeah, I guess if you wanted to really get off the board, I do think I would prefer. So if most people that are saving play Geno, I do think I would prefer Daniel Jones to Geno for tournaments. And you're saving $500 in salary.
What about Kenny throwing picks?
Yeah, I think I'm out on that. I think I like Daniel Jones more than Pickett.
Tough defense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like Daniel Jones more. So, early look. So, is there anyone else or like just early look like for your main tournament team? Where are you leaning? I think for me probably Lamar, but I think Brady's right there maybe.
Mine's probably Brady, or if I end up kind of confirming my thought that I think Mahomes will go under owned relative to his upside, then might go Mahomes, but probably Mahomes or Brady. And then Josh Allen's going to score 50, and then it won't matter.
I'll definitely. I mean, I'll have Josh Allen in cash, and I guess I might have a stack of that game, for tournaments. But I don't know. I'll really have to think about it throughout the week. But That's important to note. Core plays for myself, 4-1 on the season.
Smash.
Yeah, the Discord's been booming lately too. So dfscomer.com/NFL, you can sign up for access. You can get access to my cash game core plays, my tournament core plays, Sam's core plays, AC, Matt, who is having another big NFL season. You can get access to exactly who we're playing this weekend if you head to the website or get in the Discord. We can point you in the right direction. But yeah, overall, I think QB is pretty straightforward. We didn't mention anyone like Burrow, but I don't know. What's your take on Burrow? I just haven't. I haven't.
It's a
I don't
hard one.
know. It
Yeah,
is.
dude. I don't
It
know.
is tough.
The Bengals. I heard someone say this in a podcast a couple of days ago. I kind of agree. It's like I don't agree that with a lot of people saying like it was a complete fluke last year for the Bengals. I don't think they're like terrible. I think that last year they had a lot of good breaks and they have not gotten any of those this year. And the offensive line is just so bad. So it just kind of limits Burrow's upside. I mean, like we've seen what Burrow can do. Like last year, where he shredded the Ravens twice and he did have all these great games. But if he's $400 more than Brady, like I mean, such a pass happy offense, or even Stafford, who's looked like garbage, but still like
Yeah.
I would trust more of upside of Rodgers. So yeah, I just think Burrow's a little overpriced, even though I think the Saints D is definitely overrated, but I think Burrow's a little overpriced.
Yeah, I did see. I don't know the accuracy to this, but I saw someone posted that they think Joe Mixon is like tipping the Bengals plays.
I saw
Because
that the
yeah, did you
hands on
see
his
that?
knees versus
Yeah. If
yeah.
he's like standing upright, or it's like a pass, or if he's bent over, it's a run or something. Like, I think that's funny. We'll have to see if that changes. Like,
Zach Taylor probably like told him to do that. He's like, this reminds me, make sure you put your hand. Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to running back. So I think the chalk at running back is pretty straightforward. Ramondre Stevenson, 6K against the Browns, who have been just an egregiously bad run defense
Dude,
for whatever reason.
we've been more. I have to interrupt. Is there anyone I would say we, the fantasy community, most people have been more wrong about than the Browns defense. They suck.
Yeah,
Their defense
they
is
were one of
so
the
bad.
best defenses down the stretch of
And
last
also,
season.
I'm not even talking like I know like Myles Garrett. Like I'm saying even if Garrett's in the game, they still suck.
They've been bad.
Amazing, but yeah. So I'm just saying I definitely do not. Again, another thing I was wrong, but I came in the year thinking they'd be pretty stout. But their offense is basically
It's
the
like
Browns.
it's like reverse. Yes, it's reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, their run defense is really bad, and I think that Bill knows that. And if there's any coach in the league that will will not throw the ball and will just run it down your throat, it is Bill Belichick. I mean, obviously, there was a game. I know it was a weather game, but Mac Jones threw the ball like 3 times or something last year in that one game. So I do expect them. No Damian Harris. They're gonna feed Stevenson. They're just gonna run the ball a lot. So he's going to be super high owned. Kenneth Walker against Arizona with no Rashad Penny is going to be super high owned. And then now, Benjamin with no James Conner at 4,600. The best ball darling of the offseason. Everybody, Rube is like
the Seahawks.
Rube is throwing a party right now, Sam. That it's Benjamin.
Yeah, I know
this
he
week,
is. I know. I hate that for him.
Yeah. So
yeah, dude, the Seahawks they don't even try to play. They might as well just rest. They don't even try to stop anyone. But their offense is solid. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know if you have any other guys in cash. I mean, I would still, if you're trying to get quote unquote a little different in cash, not that he's low, but we were talking I think he's good for turns, but Kamara is still way too cheap. I don't know why he's still 6,700.
Yeah.
I think he's still cash.
Fournette too will get on. I was going to ask you about Kamara and Fournette. I think are in that next.
Dude, I thought Lenny was going to be mega chalk this week, and he's not. And I'm
so I'm tilting because he really didn't do that good last week, right? I mean, he scored touchdowns, but Rachaad White played a lot and ran a lot of routes, and Fournette just kind of got there with these touchdowns. He caught a lot of balls, but I don't know. I'm just not interested.
His role in the last 2 weeks. I mean, first couple weeks he was 50% or less of snaps. Last week 4 he was 40%. Week 5 he's around 40%. So
yeah,
it's still Fournette's backfield, but I agree that Rachaad White is
I'm out.
He's running
out on
routes.
Fournette. Kamara I think is a great play at 6,700. I played Kamara in cash last week. He did very good. He just didn't score any touchdowns. 6,700. is too cheap. I think Kamara is a fantastic play at that price.
Yeah, and I mean, below him, I mean, okay, so I'll just get to it because you and Matt, mainly Matt, is an idiot and keeps crapping on me about this. Devin Singletary at 5,900 is like a really good play. I don't even care if he fails. And Matt's right. Matt is okay. So we were talking about this yesterday where his like role, he doesn't do a ton always, and he's like they suck at running the ball and they have Josh Allen. However, in competitive game scripts, Singletary as like average like 30% more of the snaps. I expect this game to be competitive. And I can't get over this stat, and maybe I'm just getting stuck on it. The Chiefs have allowed so many running back targets, it's obscene. They have allowed like 11 and a half targets per game to running backs. And Singletary does have a passing role. It's not, that of CMC or Kamara, but it's good. And if nothing else, with these chalk pieces of Allen, Diggs, I assume Gabe Davis after a massive week last week would get steamed up too. But like Singletary is still on the field in this offense with a massive team total and an elite offense. And I think that you're getting access to someone who, yeah, he's not like a top 5 running back, but he has the usage, and we've seen games he's involved in the passing game. And I think he's a sick play at 5,900.
Yeah.
And that's my piece on. And he's surrounded by like Breece Hall. I think will be owned. I mean, it's just interesting to me that I get he's not a top tier guy, but like in a game that's going to be the chalk week of the game, like chalk game of the week by far, like I bet you he's well under 10% owned, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'll just separate like this: Cash, Stevenson. I think Stevenson's fine in tournaments too. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
That's
an important point, by the way. Stevenson is still a good tournament player.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask. So if you're playing any of those three, Walker, Stevenson for tournaments, I think it's Stevenson.
Yeah, him or definitely not Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker is sick, but like
Kenneth Walker, there's always a chance that Seattle puts
DJ Dallas will come in and just start.
Yeah, I think there's more of a chance for that with him than the other two. And then Kamara, who I like in tournaments as well. And then I like for GPPs, I think Saquon's interesting on like the other side of Lamar stack because
I agree.
The Giants just don't care. They're just gonna give Saquon the ball.
No, they're like, we know it works, and we don't really care.
They do not care, like at all.
Yeah.
And he's 7,700, and I feel like most after that week 1. Well, he was chalk in week 1 because he was like 6,300 or something. But I think most weeks he's been on the main slate this year. He's been pretty chalky, and now because we actually have decent running back value, this will be like the 1 week that he's not crazy owned. So I think Saquon is fine. Breece Hall I like, but
I love Breece Hall.
I'll have to wait and see on the ownership. If he's gonna come in pretty low owned, I'll definitely be in. But I think as of now, I would rather find some money and play Kamara than I would Breece Hall.
So my other guy I would mention is I do have a decent amount of interest in Travis Etienne, 5,000, and he has been slowly but surely increasing. Like basically he has increased his snap count. I'm trying to find it right now. 1 second. Yeah, so he, beginning of the season, he was playing like 30% of the snaps, and he's gone 30 to 40, 50, almost 60 last week, whereas Robinson's gone the other direction. He ran a route on nearly 6% of his dropbacks last week, got a couple targets. I think ETN is a great buy low at this price because I think he's going to end up being what basically people thought he was going to be last year before he got hurt. And the Colts are so bad. Like, they could be the worst team in the league or one of the top 3 worst teams in the league. So yeah, I think ETN is really interesting at low ownership on a week where I think all the good plays are going to be high owned. Ben, do you have any interest if he comes back? I saw he's practicing and playing Jonathan Taylor at 8,000.
Yes. I think he's fine, but I prefer Barkley.
And I prefer CMC to all those people.
Okay, dude, I think I like CMC more than McCaffrey.
Fired coach narrative. CMC makes
yeah, I mean, well, okay, first of all, Steve Wilkes is not a good coach, but I think that the thing that could change is just like them forcing the ball, obviously, to McCaffrey more than they were.
You got PJ Walker out there. I mean, he's not.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with CMC. CMC Cup, mini stacks are super interesting, I think, and no one will do that because they're so expensive.
guys, the stack I was telling Ben pre-pod, Cup, McCaffrey, Higbee, you could see in that group of three, like that could combine for like 30 targets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
that's
no
a
issues with that.
that's a real possibility. Yeah. You got Stafford if you want. I don't know if you have anyone else. That's all I have for running back.
I think Jeff Wilson Jr. is interesting again, but Tevin Coleman was involved, but
I know, dude. That was a
Jeff
weird
Wilson
one.
is still the lead back, and I don't think it's as big of a deal that Tevin Coleman's involved because they just want to run the ball. Like they're just running the ball so much right now with Trent Williams out. Like it's not gonna matter. Like Jeff Wilson
Oh,
is still gonna get the ball like quite a bit.
then I have one last guy, but I think Raheem Mostert has kind of taken over the backfield. I think he's kind of interesting at 57. I still don't really. It's hard to really judge his pass game role because he kind of gets
Yeah.
targets, but like in San Francisco, he never did. So I like still am biased from that. But Edmonds has gotten his role like slashed. He's like lost the starting job.
So
So
Raheem
that
versus
to
Brees
make
Hall,
note
it's
of that.
$100 difference. What would you lean?
Brees Hall is like such a better play, but he'll probably be like 15% owned or 12, and Mostert's probably like 8. Well, Mostert might be owned. No, Brees Hall, dude, his weighted out because he just gets so much. He gets the targets, the Packers rush deep blows, and he gets the red zone. He gets red zone work. I mean,
Yeah, I think I lean Brees, but
yeah,
I don't know.
just a higher ceiling.
All right, we'll move on to receiver here. So for cash games, I think again very very chalky right at receiver. You have Steph Diggs will be very popular as a spend up to go along with Josh Allen. Tyler Lockett is still 5,600. There's back-to-back weeks of Tyler Lockett being chalk. Back-to-back weeks of Tyler Lockett
annoying.
smashing as chalk. And he's still 5,600. So he will certainly be owned. Romeo Doubs at 4,800 against the Jets will certainly get some attention. I think Rondale Moore at
I have
less than
Rondale at
41.
20. I have Rondale at 23% right now. He could go higher.
Yeah, Rondale is going to get some attention and will be owned. So I think that's kind of like the cash pool at receiver. For tournaments, where are you looking? I do think ownership could get put. So what would you think? What's going to happen if T. Higgins gets ruled out? Do you think ownership will get pushed onto Chase at 77? Or what? Like, I mean, obviously,
I think Chase
ownership will obviously
I
go
think
up,
Chase.
but I don't know if he
Yeah,
becomes like a cash must
no,
play or anything.
no, I don't think it becomes cash because he's okay. So there is a drop off between him and Diggs, but it's not that massive. Where I feel like people just try to find the salary to get to Diggs or go to like Marquise Brown or Tyreek Hill or something. Not Marquise Brown, no one ever plays him. But I think he would get up there, but not insane. I think people would probably. It sounds weird. I think people almost would rather push their shares than into like Hayden Hurst, who's had an increasing role because Tyler Boyd just is such a like low ceiling because he just kind of doesn't. I mean, except for that one game this year, we ran me like a 70 or a touchdown. So no, I just don't see because Jamar's had such a down year because God, if you look at his expected fantasy points versus actual, it's like he's just run so bad. So I think people are kind of
I
sick
don't
of
like
getting
the way
burned.
that they're using him. I saw a tweet
I don't either.
that was like
I don't
his
either.
route tree versus Jefferson's route tree,
Yeah.
and it's a major difference, and it's not good. Like it's
No, I
not
mean
good at all.
it just I don't understand why. I mean, I guess the only thing that I like that will keep his ownership down probably is like people will probably be afraid of the matchup with Lattimore, which I don't. Lattimore is like very not what it used to be, and Jamar Chase is. I just don't like. I don't worry about that, so I hope that will keep his ownership down. But I like Jamar Chase a lot. I think that. Okay, how about if T Higgins is playing though, would you play T Higgins at what will probably be no ownership?
What's he price? 63.
Dude, no one is going to play him,
I don't think
even
I
though he's.
would. I don't think I would. I like guys I like more than him. All right, so for tournaments, what guys you looking at? I have some guys I
Yes.
really like. I will say
So
some of this
go
is
ahead.
contingent on news. Like there is some news we're monitoring here at T Higgins, like you said. Chris
Mhm.
Olave is kind of a big one, because that could open up some of those cheap Saints guys. I don't know necessarily if you want to play him in cash, but Chris Olave being out would definitely change some things, especially if like a Michael Thomas returns. Like we'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see what's going on there.
So guys I like would be Mike Evans. I'm actually glad his price seems to have like stayed up that little overpriced range. Um, Pittsburgh's not stopping anyone. So I like Evans, preferably stack with Brady. You could play him on. He's going to be owned, but compared to Lockett, I love DK Metcalf again. No one is stopping him, and we know the ceiling. I know Lockett's been the flavor of the last 2 weeks, but Metcalf has still been popping off. Okay, so I like Amari Cooper, which I read about a lot at 5,900. He is been such an alpha, and I was reading a stat from a good guy at PFF, and he was saying how the Patriots, I think, play the fourth most man, and I think Amari Cooper has destroyed man coverage more than like almost any receiver all year. And so I think his target share is almost 30%. He has 40% of the air yards, nearly 30% of the red zone targets, and I think he's in a great spot against the New England defense. It's definitely not as good as it used to be. And then I don't want to take all the guys, but Christian Kirk. I don't know why his price dropped so much. That was a weird one. I don't know if he's going to get steamed up, but I think going back to Christian Kirk, and I hope that people are suckered in by Marvin Jones having one good game. But I think Christian Kirk is way too cheap at 58 and a good pivot off Lockett.
Yeah. I love Christian Kirk this week. I talked about him a lot last week. He didn't get there, but nothing. He just, for whatever reason, wasn't getting like looks for whatever reason. He was.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was still on the field a ton, running a ton of routes. He did like get a couple looks like late in the game, and they just didn't connect on him. I remember I was watching that game a little bit, but super good. I mean, these teams have already played once, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a good game against the Colts. Didn't they play week 2 or something?
Yeah, isn't that when Jacksonville? Or no, wait, who's the one they?
No, they tied.
Didn't Jacksonville beat him Didn't Jacksonville beat him like 24-0?
Yeah, I think so. I think these teams have already played. Even if not, it's a good matchup in the slot against Indy where we like to target them. And I think Christian Kirk's still fine at 5,800. Juju at 52, you brought up.
Yeah, dude, versus Indy. After Indy, he went 6 for 6 for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll probably get some ownership, but maybe not crazy. Juju at 52, you brought up. I still think's fine.
Way too cheap.
It's just too cheap. I know he hasn't been doing much, but eventually he's going to have a good game, 100%. And then the one I really like, but it's contingent on if Rashad Bateman misses, is Devin Duvernay. He's 4,700. And, dude, he was so involved in that Sunday night game.
Did Lamar target anyone else like for the first quarter?
Yeah, and they were
ridiculous.
They were kind of like using him almost like Deebo Samuel. Like they were
like a gadget.
They were like handing him the ball off and stuff. So if Bateman's out, I think Duvernay is a great play, and no one is playing Duvernay.
No one's going to play him. And he's right next to Dobbs too, so he shouldn't get owned. He's right next to MVS.
Anyone playing Lamar is playing him with Andrews. Like no one is playing Duvernay, and you can use Duvernay like as a one-off too. Like you don't have to, if it's not even a Lamar team, like just you can use Duvernay if Bateman's out. So that's someone I like a lot for cheap.
Just a little bit. He was pressing in full. I will keep playing. Isaiah McKenzie, I think, is actually a really good play. As again, it's similar to Singletary. I expect to have that rollback. He's been practicing. I think he's practiced in full yesterday, or at least limited yesterday. So I think Isaiah McKenzie's a great piece to stack with because you're getting Josh Allen and that Bills team, but you're not playing Stephon Diggs. And McKenzie has, fine enough target share for his role. I mean, 5 to 6 targets is probably what you can expect, which is not terrible at that price. I don't know what you think about McKenzie or if you just would focus on Diggs or Gabe Davis, but I just think McKenzie could easily. I mean, we've seen him get fed targets already this year, and he just seems really cheap for such a high implied team total. God, Gabe Davis.
What do you think? Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you think people will do with Gabe Davis? So not only did he have that massive game last week, but as the week goes on, I haven't really, I try not to look at outside stuff before I write my articles and stuff. So I haven't really been around other than just in our own Discord. But I mean, this Gabe Davis just feels like the person that's going to get steamed by the time the weekend gets here, because not only did he have that big game, not only is everyone going to be like, oh, don't stack Josh Allen with Diggs in tournaments, just use Gabe Davis instead. And he was the one that, what did he have? 200 yards and 4 touchdowns against the
Yeah,
Chiefs in
he
that
won
game.
me.
I
He
mean,
won me
like,
all the money
yeah,
last
like
year.
he did everything
Gabe Davis,
against
captain.
the
I think he put up like
Chiefs.
60
Yeah,
points. Dude, that was
so that
legendary.
just feels like the guy that by the time the weekend gets here, like he might be projecting for like low ownership, but like everyone
I
is
agree. No, I
playing
mean,
him.
I'm a Gabe Davis apologist. Like I was drafting
I
him
am
on all
too.
my
I
teams. I
I
think
was
he's sick.
defending Gabe. People were like, I don't
I
know.
hate when people say
People,
he's bad. I'm like,
yeah,
you're
people
dumb.
don't like
He's
Gabe
like
Davis
really good.
for some reason.
Because he was hurt. Dude, he last week I think it was his first week. He was actually like not hurt at all. Like not his ankle was like actually recovered. Yeah, I could see him getting steamed a little bit. I don't know how just because he is probably overpriced. Just based on like if you just look at game logs, which a lot of people do. So that could keep his ownership down. But I do agree. I mean, like for instance, yeah, I could see people totally being like, oh well, Diggs is expensive, and I want to play Kelsey, whatever. So like Josh Allen plus Gabe Davis with Kelsey on the bring back, I could see being popular. That's why I like Isaiah McKenzie. Isaiah McKenzie just is like run. I think what's his route? Yeah, I mean Isaiah McKenzie's run route on 99% of Josh Allen's dropbacks he's played. So, Ben, I still am gonna probably keep playing George Pickens. I know he's like I feel like he always should be more popular the last couple weeks, but he just is getting these deep targets, and I think he's now I think taken over the wide receiver 2 job from Chase Claypool. I know the team is so bad, but they have to throw to someone.
I have no issues with Pickens.
Not a priority,
Yeah.
a priority, but
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
know the guy I'd
I'll probably
mentioned.
play 3 teams this week, or maybe 4, maybe my cash team and then 3 others. So I don't know if I'll get to him, but I don't have like a problem with him. And if I was going for a run back from Pittsburgh, it would probably be him, I guess.
Last guy I mentioned, I don't care if this blows my face, dude. Darius Slayton has 47% of the New York Giants air yards. Just let that sink in for a second. And he's 3,800.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I'm interested in Wandale if he's back. Oh, and I get what you're saying
fine.
about Slayton. I totally get that. Like I think Slayton's
no,
fine.
and I'm fine with Wandale too. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
It's just like I don't like playing these tiny receivers, but which Wandale is. But it seems like Brian Dable just has like he just has a hard on for Wandale. Like he was getting all this like talk in camp, like oh he's already the starting receiver or starting slot receiver and all this stuff, and then he got hurt. I think week 1, whatever. But if he's in, especially with how depleted they are right now, you would feel like they're gonna scheme up like some looks for him, like even if it's like him getting carries or something like that. So I am interested in Wandale if he's back a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just because like Kadarius Toney's in the doghouse. Kenny Galladay's basically dead. Shepard's on the IR. I mean, it's like I know Barkley is the offense, but like,
yeah,
I would assume they'll occasionally throw the ball. You could also play. I don't know. This is a super punt, but I mean, Marcus Johnson's usage last week was pretty crazy. I'm just saying.
I wish Matt was on here. When we get to the point when you're touting, let it be known. Sam touted Matt Collins on this show in week 1. He was talking about Matt Collins in week 1.
Let's be clear. So I was ahead of the curve on Matt Collins.
Oh, you were beyond ahead of the curve on Matt Collins. That is.
I mean, Marcus Johnson. It just caught my eye because like I can't play this guy. He's so bad. But like I was like, God, 91% of the snaps last week. I was like, was anyone else playing?
Dude, you came on this show in like week 1 and started talking about Matt Collins, and we were making fun of you. And then 2 weeks later, Matt Collins drops a 30 bomb and wins Matt all this money. It's like it was just perfect.
Not a single thank you.
Absolutely insane behavior from Matt.
So like I'm just saying. So what you're saying is like week 8, Marcus Johnson might pop off.
Yeah. So maybe not Marcus Johnson this week, but
like week 8. Yeah.
Yeah, in the future. I like Pierce a lot, to be honest, at 43. I don't know if he'll be chalky or not.
He's getting steamed up.
Yeah,
though.
Hopefully he's not. I don't think there's no way he can end up like he's not gonna get higher owned than Rondale or Dobbs.
No. But like also why would I play him when I can play Zay Jones? It's 4,200, who's seeing 8 targets a game.
Well, I mean, I think Alec Pierce is better at football. But...
Definitely better. But Zay Jones he actually gets like pretty solid usage for only 42. He's seen a quarter of the red zone targets. Good.
I'm an Alec Pierce fan, but All right, let's get to
That's
tight
fine.
end here. I think cash games, Higbee and Kelsey is kind of like your decision. Comes down to roster construction. If you can fit Kelsey,
Hmm.
that's a great move. If you can't, everyone will just play Tyler Higbee again at 4,600. So outside of those two, and you can throw Mark Andrews in there. Like I don't think Mark Andrews will be necessarily high owned in cash, but Mark Andrews obviously is a fantastic play. Where are you going at tight end? I think, at least for me, I don't know. This is a weird tight end week. I like Fryermuth if he's able to play.
Yeah,
We'll wait and
he's my
see on
run
that.
back if he plays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love him if he can play. I love if Braid's out. I like Kate Otten again. He's still 2,900. He got a lot of looks.
totally,
Tom Brady likes to throw to his tight
totally.
ends. I don't know why they didn't like. I thought Kate Otten would be a little bit higher than he was last week, but
Oh, I thought I
just
thought
everyone
that was
played
going to be my
Higbee.
worst play of the week, and then
Yeah,
he's like
it's not even.
not
He got
out.
an. If I would have to check because I don't have it pulled up, but I'm pretty sure he got an end zone target too, and they just didn't connect. But
He did,
if
yeah.
Brait's out, I like Kate Otten. I like Fryermuth if he's in. You could talk to me about some Bob Tunyon at 36. I think would be
Thank you. About to
interesting.
mention him, dude. He gets the end zone targets. He gets the play action targets. He's Tunyon is like the
He's good.
definition of like a boom bust. Like he
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. It's kind of like how I was talking about.
He will
Like
explode or get you like three. Like there's
totally.
no in
No,
between.
that's why like when I play dust balls like Darius Slayton, I'm very aware that the likely outcome is like 3 points, but he will have these random games. And
Yeah,
yeah, I think Njoku is too cheap still. Dude, Njoku
yeah.
is like
David Njoku's good.
kind of been
We've
one of
been
the
saying
better
it.
tight ends.
I'm still tilted because we came on this show, Matt and I, and talked about David Njoku for 20 minutes in week 1, and he does nothing, and then goes for like 30 DK points on a island game on Thursday night when like we couldn't play him on the main slate. Just like so annoying.
Hmm.
But I think David
Um,
Njoku's good.
I like again. I don't like to play one-off cheap tight ends because it's kind of tough. But Irv Smith at 32 is interesting to me. He's his snaps or his route participation has gone up from like 55 to 65 to like almost 75 last week. He doesn't get end zone targets, which sucks, but he does have a decent target share. Um, I mean, he has the highest. I think he has the highest targets per route run on the Vikings besides obviously Jefferson. So I think he's kind of interesting. I mean, Ben, it's hard to get past. This is not like a sweeping state, but I can't get past how much, like, how head and shoulders I think Mark Andrews is above every other tight end. I don't even
Yeah.
think it's like even a discussion. I'm saying like Kelsey included, like they're 1A, 1B, I guess. Mark Andrews, like weighted opportunity or Whopper, some people say, whatever, is like so massive. And it's not even like the next closest is literally Kyle. His is like 71%. Kyle Pitts is at like 55. Like
Yeah.
he's so head and shoulders above everyone else. I think Andrews is underpriced at 7,000. Is my
Yeah,
statement.
I love Andrews this week. I want to ask you about Kyle Pitts. What are people doing? He's not going to be owned. Like, there's no way if he plays, he's owned because it's
Yeah, I
like
just don't know if I can
gotten to the
handle another
extreme.
week of.
But
I don't know
for
if I
as
can handle
bad
another
as
week
he's
of him going
been,
4 for 36
yeah,
and zero
as bad as
touchdowns.
he's been though, like all you see is Kyle Pitts slander all over. But which I think most people know, like it's really not even his fault. It's just the fact of it's like Marcus Mariota and Arthur Smith and all this stuff. Like there's other factors at play other than Kyle Pitts. But even with how bad Kyle Pitts has been, he's still third on this slate in target share at tight ends, above Kelsey,
I know.
above Zach
No, I know.
Ertz, Njoku, all these guys. He's still
Like
third.
it's amazing he's been this bad
He's
with how
been
much
this
opportunity
bad
he
and
gets.
still is third in target share.
Yeah,
Like he's still getting looks. Like so, I don't know.
yeah.
Do you have any dart throws? I think Mo Alley Cox is like a great dart throw at 3K.
It's actually hilarious. I was about to say Malak Cox.
Let's
I
go.
think
I
that
like him, but like every time he has a big game, you're like, okay, it's starting.
yeah,
Like they're
no,
gonna
I
start
can't.
using
Yeah,
him,
I
and then they,
can't.
they
That's the
never
thing.
do it. It makes no sense.
I think that if you were playing Geno, which is again amazing to say that's not the worst thing, if you can figure out, I don't know if I can, the right tight end to play between Disley and Fant, I bet you one of them scores. But like Arizona cannot cover tight ends, like at all, and they give up like nearly 10 targets a game to tight ends. But that would only be part of a stack. That's like a dart throw. I'm not touting that Disley or Fant are elite plays, but they are, they run routes. I mean, okay, Ben. Actually, Ben, in one of your 4 teams, could you see yourself making a Geno stack? That's a question I got for you.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. I would have to think about it
I just
because
didn't know. I was just curious if you thought he was good enough like for that to warrant
I think
the
he
possible
is,
stack.
but I think I need to think
Because
about
like
it. I
again,
have
because like
no
I'm not
idea.
gonna. I would not. I know this is. I would not stack him personally with both Metcalf and Lockett. I just don't think
Yeah, well,
there's.
I was gonna say I think if I'm playing that game, I would rather play Kyler and Hollywood and then just get,
Mhm,
DK or Lockett, whoever on the
mhm.
other side. I think I would rather do that, but yeah, I do think he's fine. I mean, he's throwing the ball a lot, and
Oh, then the last guy I would say is I actually would take a shot. If Dawson Knox is out again, I would take a shot on Quentin Morris. He was.
yeah, he not only got an end zone target in which he
Yeah,
dropped, he got a
sure did.
carry at like the 2 yard line in which he should have scored and he like fumbled.
Yeah, I mean he ran. I
So
think
that's actually a
he
great
ran
call because
on.
I didn't think about that.
Well, he ran on 84% of his dropbacks last week, and that was in a
I
game
played
when
him
like
on
there
my
was a
Josh Allen
blowout.
team last week.
I did too. I did too. I played him and Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I think that's a great call. If Knox is out, that's like actually a really really good play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've successfully broken down the positions here, so we're gonna get to the little conviction section here. So tell me, Sam, your favorite stacks or not? You don't have to do stacks, but just where do you see your first couple lineups going this week? And then I'll tell you guys where I see mine going.
So my main team, I will probably try to find a. I really hope Fryer's was in because that's the only I want to maybe bring back. But I'll probably go on the Bucks and do one of Evans and Godwin, and then if I think Braid's going to play. Unfortunately, I might stack with Braid, or I'd honestly stack with Lenny because he has like the second or third highest target share. Um, and I think my strategy will be to stack in my main team. I'll probably make an Allen stack maybe just so I don't like I can. It's like a tax I can pay to make sure I don't have to jump off a bridge if he goes off.
Yeah,
But
it is
like
a tax. Yeah, that's a good way to put
I,
it.
I, I don't I don't think it's like I don't think it would be a fish move to like include a piece of the Buffalo KC game in every team, but just
No,
making
yeah,
sure it's
100%.
not that doesn't mean like digs in every team. That means like these
Yeah,
random and that
it's like
also
the
does not
Lions
mean
a few weeks ago.
exactly. But that also does not mean I just
But
want to be clear.
yeah,
That does not mean stack up the Bucks and then play Quentin Morris as your piece. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like actual players. So that's what I'm thinking on the stack side. Them or that is like a main stack. But I honestly, I'm thinking more like in these player blocks I was talking about, like with like my favorite. I guess you could call it a stack. You could use Stafford is literally that C-Mac, Cup, and Higby. I just think that, and
yeah,
they're playing at the same time as that Bills game too.
yes. I think for me, Lamar definitely. I don't know if he'll be my main team. I have no idea, but definitely Lamar, uh, Brady, Kyler. That's probably my favorite ones. Which I can't believe I'm even interested in Kyler, but I guess if there's ever a
No,
game for him to like do decent, it's this one. And then Mahomes. I would probably lean Mahomes over Kyler, I think, to be honest, but I'll have to think
definitely.
about that. All right, before we head out, be sure to like the video if you made it this far. We appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. We do these videos every single week. Sam, give me a bold call for the Week 6 NFL slate.
Um, my bold call is that Devin Singletary scores twice.
Oh,
God,
man.
that's gonna tilt Matt. That's gonna tilt
Oh,
Matt and
man.
the entire Twitter community. Oh man.
Yeah. That, oh, boy. I don't know if we want to see. Could you just imagine, like, if that actually happens?
Yeah, I'll be winning all of the money. All of it. Actually, I won't. That'll be like my one good play, and I'll stack Brady if
Yeah,
there's like
you'll have it on,
Hunter.
like, your bad team or something. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. I was trying to think what I did last week. Mine was terrible last week, so I won't do quite as bad of one this week. I'll go Alvin Kamara scores twice this week, so kind of hits after that
Oh, I love that.
that bad like
Good.
last week
Good.
just
My two running
crushes.
backs are going to combine for 4 touchdowns. That's sick.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara
Man,
had
I
two
might win.
touchdowns this week, so
Let's go, dude.
Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, check out OwnersBox Fantasy. We have content on the website for it. You can get in the Discord for free and get some of our plays for lightning lineups. OwnersBox.online, promo code Karma gets you the free entries and the deposit match. Good luck in week 6, and we'll see you guys on Sunday morning.